All right, today we are tackling another thrifted upcycle. Hey, I'm Janelle and this is toDIYfor. If you're new, I do new DIYs every single week, so please subscribe if you've just found me. I'd love for you to come back and check out what I'm doing each and every week. I do love to do a lot of thrifted DIYs. Now, this is for a number of reasons. I love to repurpose and recycle. It's very affordable, but I think there's just like this satisfaction of knowing what it looked like before and then either just refinishing it and giving it, like a refreshed look, or completely transforming it and giving it an entire different feel and vibe. So let's get into this. I got this table for free from a neighbor of mine through a Buy Nothing Facebook group. If you're not already a part of one, look and see if there's one in your neighborhood. I absolutely love the idea of this, and I've gotten a lot of free items that I have completely upcycled from that group. So let's get into it.
All right, so here's the table that I was gifted from a neighbor through my Buy Nothing Facebook group. As you can see, it's pretty old. I think it's an old IKEA coffee table. She said she'd had it for quite a few years, and you can see it's pretty rough. So first thing I'm gonna do with this is sand it down because it has that like yellowy kind of tinge to it. And honestly, I ended up wasting a bunch of time sanding this down. And that would be because I kind of changed plans. Originally, I thought I was just going to sand it down, restain it, refinish it, maybe paint the legs or something like that and alter it in some other way. But that wasn't the case. I completely changed gears and decided to upholster the top of it and give it a foam pad. So here I've got some spray adhesive, and what I did is I ordered a twin-sized foam topper for a mattress off of Amazon, and I cut it down to shape. Honestly, I was disappointed when I got this, but I didn't give it enough time to expand. But it does end up looking a lot better. I know this looks really shabby the way I pieced it together. I did 2 layers of it, but you cannot even tell that there are seams in it when it's all done. So I left a little bit of overhang to kind of round out those edges. Now this is a piece of fabric that I have had for a very long time. I never ended up using it on another project. It's kind of like this brown leathery type material, almost like a suede. And I'm just gonna lay this down on my floor and flip the thing, this coffee table upside down on it. So I kind of try to get it as close to the edges as possible so that I don't have to cut this fabric, and I'm going to stretch it all the way underneath the table, and it should look pretty seamless when you look at it once it's all done. So just with a staple gun, you're going to go ahead, stretch this as much as possible, and get it as tight as you can. And this is obviously so much easier when you have a second hand helping you out, but my dog is not that helpful when it comes to this. I managed to do it, but I would suggest actually sitting on top of it. It helped decompress some of the foam so that when I was all done and lifted it up, it kind of made that extra nice and tight. So the corners are probably the most difficult piece of all of this. I did all of the flat edges, left the corners till last, and honestly just kind of tried to tuck this in as best as I could. So when it comes to the corners, the best advice that I can give you is just try and get it as tight as possible on one side, and then decide which flap you want to fold over and make that the same on all of your corners. So here I am trying to get as few folds as possible. You can kind of tuck and pull some of that fabric in on the other side there, and then you're just going to you're going to tuck in that flap and try and make this one little fold here as best as you can. It takes a little bit of fidgeting, but eventually you'll get it tight enough, and then put a ton of staples in there. I used a lot of staples for this project. When I was done, this literally looked like a huge bench. So I needed to cut off about 6 inches from all of the legs to kind of make it a low coffee table, Ottoman type style. Now, I'm not really sure if I'm keeping this in my apartment. It doesn't really match everything we've got going on because this is brown, my chairs are black. I did not stain this wood. I just kept it natural. I did forget to show you that I sealed it with a polyurethane. So I liked the natural wood look with this really luxurious, rich brown fabric on top, but it is like a good style of coffee table for our couch and living room, but it's not the right color, and I never really intended on keeping it, but I love how it turned out. Let me know what you think of this DIY, and I'll be back next week with a new one.